What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? We are back with Metaphor ReFantazio. Got a very talking-heavy video for you guys today.
Good night.
Thank you, Gallica. No, we'll get into some action in the next one. This is just kind of more setup for. Excuse me. This is more setup for kind of the whole mission involved in this area, which I like the concept that they're going for, but like the main dungeon for this chunk of the game, I really do not like. I really do not like the dungeon. It's overly short and I thought this one was bland. Of all the ones that we did, like I really actually liked the church, the first dungeon, and the dungeon. It's hard to say, because this game kind of does a whole bunch of mini dungeons. Because, like, if you go after a bounty or whatever, you're kind of exploring, like, a small mini dungeon. It's kind of cool the way it does it. But I think I'm going to call those labyrinths, because I've heard those described as labyrinths before. But, like, when I say dungeon, I mean, like, the mainline, you know, like, story-based dungeons that we do in this game. So the one that we get once we get to Brilhaven is actually kind of cool.
Yes.
It's on the shorter side, but I actually think it has a cool concept that I actually really like. This one, it was overly short. It's not super interesting in my opinion. I think it has some cool monsters, but the ending is just kind of meh to me.
These are the ones who have undertaken the request to subjugate Heisman.
I am Joanna, presiding lady of this city. On its behalf, you have my gratitude for traveling all the way from the royal capital.
Lady Joanna refused to use taxes to pay for this, so she sold her own heirlooms and possessions to secure the funds.
It's clear you want only the best for your people, milady. So we'll give you our best in return.
I cannot claim any nobility above yours. Even as other aspirants to the throne quarrel and bicker, you've chosen instead to help the kingdom's people.
Well, we don't deserve that much credit. After all, we're not helping for free.
Even so, please put an end to this tragedy.
We won't let you down.
Thank you. In truth, I thought it foolish to decide a monarch by a simple vote of popularity. But perhaps there is something to it. Here is my offer. If you get rid of the culprit, I will appeal to the people of this town to support you.
'Tis most kind, but can you truly afford that? Surely, as a church sanctoress, His Eminence Forden would expect your support.
Indeed. However, I would rather have a king who truly cares for his subjects.
Yes, Lady Joanna.
Now, I must return to my duties. I shall await our next meeting.
We're counting on you.
'Twas a confident smile indeed.
I will say this. There are two things that I think actually kind of, well, no, three things. Three things that I think make this section of the game very much worth it.
Oh, I mean,
Just wait till we meet Heisman.
wonder if she'll keep her word
His is...
It's quite a promise to make when she
I'm not
barely
going to
knows
spoil
us.
it, but let me just say, this section of the game gets
Not in
really...
particular.
We get into some cool, like, corruption things and some, ooh, maybe the bad guy's not really the bad guy kind of thing. I know, ooh, brand new. But once we meet Heisman, he's a really cool character.
Suggests he's passing.
Joanna actually has a lot of depth to her, beyond just being, you know, the leader here and everything. You know, we'll deal with that more as we go. She's really cool. And Borden, the main guard guy that we kind of befriend, also super cool character. He later becomes a Bond character or whatever, so you'll come back and have more interactions with him. He's just a nice guy who really wants to help out, and he's just a neat character. And he gives you a really cool archetype called the Commander, where, yeah, wow, God, what's the weapon? I want to say their weapons like a fan or something like that. They are not about
All good.
attacking necessarily. They are about giving buffs and providing like back row support. It's a really cool class, especially later. You're going to need one of their skills becomes super important, which is to get rid of like magic barriers and stuff like that. So yeah, I really like Borden. But yeah, I mean, hell, I really like this town too. Again, the whole this game does a lot of really neat things. I think there are some things that the execution, I don't want to call it sloppy. I want to say it's more just the execution. There we go. Isn't the best, but I think they do a lot of really cool things. You know, just be it style, be it gameplay. You know, I think a lot of the dungeons are interesting. I really do think this. I really do think this game does some cool shit.
More people missing.
I am really trying not to spoil anything or you know be that guy because I did oh what's the word I'm looking for here. I'm trying not to spoil anything because I have played well into the next kind of like chapter or chunk of the game, however you want to phrase it. I did that during my off time when I was getting my computer fixed and having all these problems. Oh boy. But yeah, the other reason why this video is so long and we don't actually get into a lot of action is because we also get to see a new function of the Gauntlet Runner that's going to be coming up here.
Okay.
I'm out of ideas. What do you want to know?
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Thank you kindly. Here's the real skinny.
All right.
More people missing. I can hardly think of.
Hey.
So essentially, this guy is talking about how he survived dealing with the sandworms. Essentially, you have to wait for a weather. We have to wait for a weather event to that'll kind of put the sandworms asleep. Essentially,
Not a scrap. I suppose we knew it wouldn't be that simple.
yes, weather events actually affect the dungeons and stuff like that, and it's actually different for each like zone you're in. It's kind of cool.
Not falter.
Yes, and it's very admirable. But I think I prefer a change of tack instead.
You there? Might you answer a question?
Though I will say, kind of like any other game like this, that has like, ooh, if it's this weather event, the enemies are stronger. Okay, I'll go and over level, I guess.
Suspicious character, isn't he?
You know, like maybe on like the super upper level difficulties, it's it becomes extra hard.
Not sure.
But I never really worry about it.
There's actually a way to avoid the giant sandworms. You just gotta wait for the sand flash. It's a local event, a kind of storm. The wind kicks up sand peppered with magic crystals. Not too uncommon a sight around here. Our diviners
I
say
thought
we'll have sand flash in about
I thought
5 days.
the merchant told us about. No, it's this asshole.
Might be some magic effect, or might just be waiting out the storm, and that includes the sandworms. Eh? They'll nod off, and with proper timing, you'll sneak right past them. Heismay might well be using the same trick himself.
We're much obliged, but if you know all this, why haven't you and the guard gone out?
A guard unit stomping around would wake up the whole den. Didn't much like saying it, but us local lads wouldn't be much use against Heismay anyway. But you think you can handle him? Aye? Wouldn't be here otherwise.
That information is all we needed. Thanks for the help.
Good luck out there. And don't worry, No charge for the advice, eh? Can't have you getting yourself killed now. Cap's reputation's on the line. And, one more thing. You didn't get this info from me. Aye?
Understood. But why? You could have shared this with us at supper yesterday.
What? And got myself volunteered to go out there as your travel guide? No danger of that.
I see.
Anyway, I'm counting on you.
Finally, a solid lead falls into our laps. And we'll not even have to bother with the sandworms. We've apparently got 5 days till the sandflash hits. Let's make sure we can get this done quick. Looks like more than a day's trip on the map.
If it takes us one night to reach the giant sandworm's territory, and we aim to go when the storm has them all asleep, we should leave in 4 days' time.
Let's go inform Nearest.
Righto, straightforward enough. Long as we get in when the worms have all tucked in for a nap, we'll be just dandy.
I can't get over this guy's mustache. I fucking love it. The cargo shorts, the weird shirt. I love him. He's just so goofy.
Oh, that? Damned if I know. It was just in the blueprints from the royal family. Works rather like an igniter, but no idea what it does. Just don't go breaking... Oh, easy there. You all right, lad? Thought I saw something glowing. Then you came over all giddy, gave me a start. Still can't believe this thing reacted. Look, we don't want any nasty surprises, so I vote we stay put and rest up for today. Just in case. Don't want you passing out on me, do I? Just consider it a little precaution for the trip.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer. Your journey is going well, it seems.
Hello, guy with the weird name.
You take your steps forward on this road. A supernatural awakening, a call to adventure, legs to carry you. All of these are coming together. Accordingly, new powers needed for the journey seem to have awakened.
Are you talking about that thing inside the Gauntlet Runner?
By my eyes, Lord, there is one piece of equipment in the Gauntlet Runner that was created in ancient times. Something no longer crafted in this day and age. A divine relic. It contains ancient magic once thought lost. The power of teleportation. With proper use, its great power will turn your Gauntlet Runner swifter than any beast or transport on land.
Okay, this ability
Most interesting.
actually
The reasons
explained something to me that I was like, well, how is this gonna work? Because if, like, the little kid
cannot imagine this is mere coincidence.
is back at the tavern and everything, well, I can't remember her name,
Try to imagine.
but you know, her and Brigitte and all them are still back in Grand Trad. How, so do we just, like, not hang out with them at all throughout the game, or like how's this work? No,
What's going on here?
it's because we teleport places. Our Gauntlet
all the
Runner
yelling?
teleports.
Wait, isn't this...
What? The royal capital? How? We were in Matira just last night.
I'm gonna keep talking because really all they're going to be doing is the whole, oh my gosh, we teleported and here's the rules of it. Essentially, we have to go everywhere on foot,
You can't dash and roll pop over to the
but
capital in a
once we
single
have gone
night.
somewhere, we know what it looks like. We know, you know, that's that kind of teleportation rule. So once we can get a firm
this is
image
some
of it,
magic
we can just teleport
you
there.
saw in a dream?
But the teleporter also only takes us between the major hubs. So Grand Trad, the city we're in, the next city that we're going to go to, Brylehaven. So we still have to actually
Certainly did.
run to each of the, like, outer locations that spawn off the main location, which we'll see a little bit later on in this video. I think it's pretty
I wasn't
cool.
there in the concept phase. When they gave me an odd gadget and said,
I also think the explanation we're doing here, I get why they're doing it.
You saw it yourself,
It
eh,
still
Laura?
feels a little long-winded.
Heart all bound up in its heart. Last night, glowing. Then I wake up and find a proper hullabaloo. Damnedest thing. It only started glowing when you got close, eh? Maybe you were a trigger of some kind.
Yeah, maybe I am.
I cannot say I've heard of teleportation, and yet... Surely there can be no explanation for this other than magic.
Hold on. If we're back in the capital, that means we've got bigger problems. We're due back in Martira for the bounty. If it takes us days to get back, that's all our planning ruined.
If we magicked ourselves over here, let's bally well see if we can magic ourselves back, eh?
He makes it sound so easy, but what do you think?
'Tis no small feat we ask, I know, but might you at least try?
Where to?
That is a dope image, by the way.
That really is the key to triggering it.
Oh, hey! Are you sure this is safe?
All we can do is trust him.
It's Martira. They really are back.
I can't believe it. It feels just like when the king's magic caused that spectacle in the capital.
In my eyes, it's the other way around. It's not powerful by virtue of being connected to the king or to the lad. Maybe it's that all magic is supposed to have potential of this magnitude. You've all got some powers that defy understanding too, eh? Gives one the sense that those sanctists preaching about needing igniters are wrong, or lying outright.
I suppose when you say it like that.
Speaking of sanctism, well, not like this. A tool full of this kind of practical, unorthodox magic is against all their teachings. Why would the royals have had it?
Hold a moment. With this teleportation on our side, can we travel anywhere in the world with only a thought? If that's so, we may not even need a gauntlet runner at all.
What? You mean we could just magic snap ourselves to Brylehaven? Just like that?
No.
Go on, try it out.
You see what I mean? I just feel like we're over-explaining stuff.
So we can't go somewhere we've never been before. Anywhere else you've been? How about Montario?
No. Commoners don't usually visit the three great cities.
'Twould seem this power of travel is somewhat conditional. Best that we define its boundaries now.
So, in the end, the only places we can teleport to are the cities we've actually been to.
Well, thank you very much. Ha! Almost had me out of a job there, lad.
Sounds like you've got to envision the destination in great detail for it to work. We'll need more than a glance out a window or a passing familiarity. And you have to focus for it too. Seems to take you a moment, which means it won't save us in a fight.
Not as convenient as it sounds, huh?
How so? Now we can return to the royal capital any time we need to restock. 'Tis useful enough as is, and the more places we travel, the more we can return to.
You're right. And now we can drop by to see Maria whenever we like. Put like that, it really is something impressive.
Even if we have no idea where it comes from, it should certainly prove useful.
Our next foe is a bounty, and we have a lot of preparing to do. We've got 3 days to go, so don't forget.
Alright, finally we're done with that. Alright, so we're, subjugating Heisme, running around the town. Pretty much we got a couple days to hang out and do whatever the hell we want. So teleporting does not take up time. So essentially, you can go to any of the cities to do anything, So essentially that's how you can continue to build the bonds with characters, even if you're not in their city.
My apologies. You're right there. That's a relief. Well,
I think it's a well-done concept.
Hey, you sure you want to let that fellow go? He nicked something of yours just now when he bumped into you.
Oh no! Grius' dagger is missing. Let's chase after him. I don't see him anywhere. Jeez, how'd he disappear so fast? Come on.
Now... Oh?
Okay, so essentially, he will build a relationship with him. I can't remember what archetype he gives. Oh no, I do. He gives a weird class that I haven't played around with because it's not super interesting to me. But I don't know. I think he's interesting.
What?
Essentially, they're talking about the big monster that we took out in the desert.
Good hunting to you.
Before the tournament got announced. So we're gonna go after the Goborn. Is that how that's pronounced? Goblins. That is a really, really shitty impersonation of Grimjack.
Hey.
Oh man, I've what is it? I saw the announcement from Grimjack that the episode 2 of season 2 of Goblin Hunter or Goblin Slayer. What Goblin Hunter? What the fuck is wrong with me? Of Goblin Slayer Abridged is
Do it.
the next episode is almost done. So I'm very excited for that. Okay, so this is kind of how every area works. You kind of have your hub area, so we have Grand Trad, we have Martira, we have Brylehaven is going to be the next one, and then as you find a bounty, it'll open up a small dungeon. Maybe you'll find a small town along the way, or something like that. And Brylehaven, it really opens up, and there's a lot more connections and stuff like that, so you can kind of link your travel times. It gets really cool. You only get a little taste of it right here at this part. So this guy's going to send us to a small town to go essentially pick up an item for him. And what you do in each of these small towns is they'll sell stuff. I think the one that we're going to is going to sell us accessories. There was another one that we'll go to later on that sells items that you can then get appraised, or so each town is is like a small market that maybe you'll sell a certain ingredient, or it'll sell certain items that maybe you have trouble finding in other places.
Let's give it a shot.
But this one actually really helps because this town we also need to go because Nuris wanted us to go see a friend that he had in that town.
We are now. So,
oh, yeah, you see the little marker over that guy's head? The guy with the little blue staff? You will see them now in every town. Or not every town, in every main hub. Because the towns you don't actually run around in, it's all done through a menu. So in all the main hubs, there will be one of those guys with the staff. Essentially what they do is they show you what they'll give you a weather forecast. Because like I said, certain areas, when they're affected by certain weather effects, will end up having different changes to the way the monsters behave. Excuse me. Gonna test out the merchant class, which I gotta say, I really like.
This right here, all right?
I'm counting on you.
Of course.
Really?
Oh.
So essentially what... oh, you see him handing out the hero fruits. I haven't really used those, but essentially you can use them to boost archetype XP, so you can, you know, you don't have to just grind with a particular archetype. What was... there was something else I wanted to say. Oh, right, the, what does the merchant do? The merchant has some really cool field skills, I'll call them. So they will give you, it's more, you're more likely to get an item when you knock out an enemy in the field without having to go into battle. You're more likely to pick up rare items or something like that, or rare drops from monsters. You're also more likely to get crits. But your main skill or special move or whatever with the merchant does take 500 money. They're like Reeve, I think is how it is pronounced. So this is also interesting. So not only do you see what, you know, you can get tips on monsters and dungeons and bosses and stuff like that from these guys. You know, they'll tell you how somebody behaves, a weakness, or what have you. They will also tell you, hey, this town sells this particular, you know, this is what they specialize in, or hey, here in the hub, here's the different ingredients you can get, or stuff like that. I essentially would say buy out whatever the hell you can from these guys. Essentially what he's telling us here is when we're going to go fight the goblins, don't bring characters that use staves, yeah, whichever, because that makes them angry. Use skills that will put the enemy to sleep, because they're susceptible to being put to sleep. There's also other enemies that are weak to pierce, so pierce skills also will help out. Oh, I also know that earlier earlier in the series, I was talking about how I wasn't sure how I felt, or how I was never sure like when I should sell a weapon or whatever. But essentially, I try and keep my 2 highest damage dealing weapons for each class. That way, if I ever want to double up, I can spread the weapons out. But generally, that's my plan. Is I go for about 2 weapons for every class. That's kind of the way I plan it out. So that way, like I said, if I want to double up classes, somebody's got a weapon, and all that. So,
an elder candidate?
Because you know my biggest problem was just I felt like I was just hoarding just weapon after weapon, and my inventory was just getting so cluttered. So when you want to go out on the Gauntlet Runner, you go to the map table, and you have a sit down with these really cool chairs. I don't like how they don't have a back, but I will say I think the chairs are cool.
Now then.
So essentially we run out to the place, and then we teleport back.
It's your call.
Great. Let's move out.
And if you see all the gauntlet runners, like there's other gauntlet runners on the map,
The gauntlet runner
if you
heads on
cross paths with one, you actually enter into like a little fight with them.
reminds them of
It's
their journey's
kind of interesting.
What to pick?
Are you free? Speaking of, you see?
A great fundamental of swordplay, oft overlooked, is finding time to reflect. Both of you have faced life and death combat. I imagine you have some. I read these too slow. My strength is that I'll give any tactic a try. You have commendable skill and confidence to match. Very well, let us begin training with a warm-up. First, show me your beast walk. Or as I called them, bear crawls. Come now, don't just stand there, let's see your beast walk. A beast walk being what exactly? You walk on both hands and feet, of course, like a beast. Now begin. Yeah, I call these bear crawls in whatever sport I had to do them in. What the hell are we doing? Free your mind of distracting thoughts, Stroll. Ignore your limbs crying for reprieve. The pain is making them stronger. Is it, though? You know, does Hulkenberg's silhouette look really weird when she's not wearing her kind of like her shoulder pads, and like when she's just wearing like her bodysuit? Her silhouette looks really odd. Like without her like jacket thing on. Just something about her, it just looks odd to me. Almost like her midsection is way too long. And I say that as an oddly proportioned individual. Like I'm 6 feet tall, but my legs are really short. All my height's my torso. I was once driving my ex-girlfriend's car. I can't remember where the hell I was going. When I was borrowing it, and she had her seat so far back, I didn't notice it. I was coming up into an intersection, tried to hit the brake for a red light, and I couldn't reach the damn brake. I was taller than her, but again, she had much longer legs than I did, so I had to like, was just trying to just put my toe on the brake, just go. No, maybe her torso isn't that long, and maybe my story is dumb, but it's her legs. I don't know. I just wouldn't have gone with a bodysuit. I don't know. It's not my beat me harder. I don't know. I just don't like the bodysuit.
Hold it.
It's like I said, it just makes her silhouette look odd. Hurt yourself in training, solves nothing. You'll keel over before you get any real fighting.
Sorry.
Yes, you're right. I apologize. It's not like I don't understand your passion, but you could afford to go a little easier on us. See, and then I really like Stroll. I really love his jacket and everything. It's just, yeah, I would have gone with, again, the black and black would have worked. I just would have had just a shirt and pants. I wouldn't have done, like, the full bodysuit. It's an interesting look from certain angles, but then from other angles, it just does not work for me. Maybe, and again, I think when she's wearing, like, the little, I'm gonna say jacket, but I guess it's not a jacket. It's almost kind of like a little cape. You know, whatever the hell that thing is, it works more. No, well, I guess it also works, cause, yeah, because she's also got a top on as well.
But
I don't know, like, every so often you'll see her in casual clothes, and it's just the bodysuit, and it just does not work. Just like I think the protagonist's kind of like relaxing clothes without his jacket and everything does not work for me. When I left the capital, I did so with the sole sport of helping the prince, but at times I can't help but think perhaps I could have done more. If I'd remained as a knight, perhaps they may have something. But let us not speak of what ifs. I've no intention of changing my path now. Together we shall move forward for the prince. I can sense Hulkenberg's knightly resolve. The steadfast vassal Hulkenberg, keeper of the Hertier. A new heroic embodiment slumbering within thee has come to blossom. Bear this new power, foster this connection, and by the strength fulfill thy destiny. And unlocks the advanced archetype of the Magic Knight. Which really, it's just really isn't that different, at least in the early stages from what I've played around with it. But it does have a bit higher of a magic stat. Well, we'll go no farther than the broken swords. Let us end our training now. Say what you are you feeling hungry? Here, take one of these, a dried caterpillar. Rich in vital nutrients, perfect for the post-training cooldown. Don't let petty labels like insect dissuade you. Doing our best to negotiate around the proffered caterpillars. I think he broke down and ate one.
The party at last arrives in the
I don't care what anyone says, I'm not eating bugs.
farming settlement southeast of Martira, blessed by the mild climate. Its ranches produce fine fare, and to take in its idyllic landscapes is to be at peace, as time itself seems to stop. It gained a reputation for its rare and wondrous goods, brought there by merchants in their longing to return. As though welcomed by the grazing animals, the Gauntlet Runner stops gently.
Say.
You know, I don't get why she's saying this is more barren than she imagined. I mean, it's a small village outside, like, the larger town. Yeah, thank you, Stroll. It's like a nice little town.
Fine.
Okay, this might seem like a bit of a deep cut. And I'm trying to remember the name of the game. It was a turn-based RPG. It was based on Inuyasha. That's what it was. I want to say it was like Legend of the Cursed Mask?
Hey.
Or something like that. Oh man. But just the village that the main character kind of like meets the, Kagome and Inuyasha and all like the main cast. Like the can't remember the name of the main village. But like that that village, that's what this background is reminding me of. It's really weird. Essentially what we're seeing here is Nearus wanted us to go meet an old friend he had here. His old friend had this just kind of gemstone or whatever. And now we're going to take it back to Nearus, and it kind of starts his companion chain. That is something that I do kind of like about the companion chains in this game, is how a lot of them are really kind of based on more gameplay rather than, oh, okay, I'm going to go talk to you and just, we're just going to sit and talk. No, it's with him where in certain dungeons we'll find other gemstones with, it was 2 videos ago, last video, something like that, when we found when he took that picture of that tree, we give those to Maria, I think that's her name, the kid. We give that to her, and that's how we boost her companion rank. And obviously the one with Gallica boosts through narrative, but yeah, I like the way they handle it in this game, where it's more objective based as opposed to just putting time in to go talk to people.
I say, lad, did you find this for my sake?
We wanted to help you out, Nearus.
Why, I'm very well touched. It positively chokes a man up. You may be just a lad, but you've the heart of a saint. And that old fella seems silly to ask, but he's long gone, isn't he?
Yes. I'm sorry.
Thought so. You can fight the years, but you can't beat them. He made good on his promise, though, eh? It's in my hands now, old man.
Okay, the game I was thinking of was Inuyasha: The Secret of the Cursed Mask. It was a PS2 game.
It's written with some letters.
Actually, not bad. I very much enjoyed it.
Ah, a
It has a 51% on Metacritic.
It's a script I use myself when I don't want any snoops.
It's just like my love of
I think of it. He's the one who taught
Operation
me
Darkness. That game is such it gets such poor reviews, but the game is so weirdly fun.
Thank you.
I think I did like a part or two of that. Like I broke out the Xbox and started an LP for that. I need to go back and restart that because that game is so good.
Looks like the old fellow was hunting for others. Different cipher here. He tried to guess at locations too. Looks like his chase ended when he lacked the means to follow his findings. Say, I've a grander favor to ask. Could you check around for more of these lost relics? Looks like the old man worked out a few other locations. There's 7 more relics noted down in this journal. I've got to see them all with my own eyes. A quick stopover or two in our travels should be all it takes, so, please?
Right. Leave it to me.
Appreciated. We're in this journey together, what?
I love how it's always a handshake.
The free-hearted engineer, Neurus. Within him dwells the virtue of the gunner. Nurture thy bond with him, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
Okay, I have one problem with the gunner.
Kick my feet up, lad.
With the gunner archetype, and that is that the weapon that you equip with the gunner is a crossbow.
You said
you don't equip a pistol. It should be a pistol.
Do you even know where they are?
I'm just saying. Should be a pistol.
What's it all about, Michael? If we could crack the cipher, that'd narrow down our search range a tad. I'll leave this journal here. If I can crack any of the codes, I'll make a special note of it. So you just take a look when you feel like a spot of treasure hunting.
This one's important.
Hey, I was thinking this back at the village, but I think I might be able to detect this relic with my powers. I'll know if I'm close to it. When you want to hunt for relics, can you let me know?
Thanks, you two. I'm rather looking forward to digging deeper into this.
Okay then. That reminds me.
Oh my god. I keep doing it, man. I gotta... I've mentioned this in a couple videos recently. When I got sick earlier this month, I totally forgot to get my my ADHD meds replaced. And now that I'm... Like, when I was on them, I was like, I don't really notice too much of a difference. I guess they're working. But now that I'm off them, I keep catching myself, man. Just, like, drifting off. Just kind of, like... Just getting lost in thought or something, you know? Like, I don't need them for hyperactivity or anything like that. I just need to help me focus sometimes, because I just get lost in a train of thought, and I'm like, well, what the fuck am I doing? So yeah, that's what the towns are. They're just like nice little rest stops. that you can buy some items. You know, you see some cool art in the background, and they all have like a little blurb by the narrator, which I think is pretty cool. Oh, her name is Maria.
Let's go see.
More people missing.
You know, actually, I should probably head in and talk to Moore, because I unlocked the gunner archetype. I think that's the next that's the next objective that he wants me to complete.
You know, you saved my ass.
Mission accomplished. Amazing.
Ah, brilliant. Bye then.
Why, you... An elder candidate?
I'm gonna buy our good friend Stroll a crossbow.
I see.
God damn it! Why does when I say crossbow, my brain goes to that Family Guy episode where they buy the farm, but it ends up turning out to be they end up turning into meth dealers, and then Brian comes back from Ag State. Oh god damn it! What was the name of it? Yeah. It was some super long like college or something. He's like, here's some heirloom tomato seeds. He's like, yeah, we don't do that anymore. Here's some meth. And Chris, he's like, meth. Chris walks by. He's like, I have a crossbow. Right. Yeah, Chris has a crossbow. That's a long explanation for why I laughed at the word crossbow. But most of my life is me laughing at things that I find hysterical that have just some stupid... It makes me think of just some stupid moment from Family Guy. And people are like, well, why is that funny? And then I drop like the... You know, it's like, well, this and this and this and this happened in Family Guy, and I thought it was funny once, and now it reminds me of when I thought it was funny, so I laugh.
Now then.
That's kind of how my life is.
Now then.
You know, it's like what it's the like I laugh my head off at the that happened. Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. I remember back when I was learning blackjack. Before I started working at the casino, my teacher just was like, AJ, what the fuck are you laughing at? Just like, I don't know. I'm just like, I just said something that reminded me of something else that reminded me of something funny, and I just sat and I was just losing my shit over nothing. And she's just like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. You gotta learn to entertain yourself sometimes, guys.
Oh, thank you.
Now what am I to do?
You? Sorry.
Didn't I leave Grand Trad? Yada, yada, yada.
Unfortunately.
Oh, that's right. Why are these not voiced? You did this... You did it for the social links in Persona 3 Reload. I'm trying to write. I can't remember. Did Persona 5? Did they voice the confidants? Either way, these should be voiced. 100%, these should be voiced. Left behind a letter. Those who spread magic igniters shall face the wrath of God. It is not hard to imagine what happened. So essentially, they stole your dog? Oh wow! Okay, I knew the dog got stolen, or taken or something, but I have not fully read this. Like I just kind of like shot through it because like the first time I went through this in my off-camera playthrough, and then as I was recording this, I'm like, I'm gonna read it again when I, do the commentary for it, so I don't pay the best attention to some of these non-spoken lines. That's really fucked up. Like, you really get to see that the church in this world are really filled with assholes. Which is just fine for me, because we get to kick the shit out of a lot of them. And I'm very okay with that. It kind of makes you go, you know what? Maybe Luis isn't wrong about everything.
What?
He's still a piece of shit, but he's not wrong about everything.
But... this world...
You're not wrong, but I mean, it's a bit of a pessimistic way to look at it.
Fine. I couldn't ask him to stay, could I?
Alright, so essentially, we can inherit more skills with the merchant, and they're gonna sell us cooler shit.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
So if you heard something like snap close, I'm like playing with the case for my wireless headphones.
Nonetheless,
It's like the lid kind of closes magnetically, so it kind of like snaps. So I like kind of like flick it every so often. Probably why I had to buy a new one of those, because I broke the other one. Alright guys, we are getting close to the end of this one. I want to say, as always, thank you so much for watching. Social media in the description. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See y'all in the next one. But until then, guys, I'm out.
Mister,